We want to welcome now for more Mr. Jacob Dalal, Advisory Board Member of the Fighting Online Anti-Semitism Organization. Thank you very much, Mr. Dalal, for joining us tonight. So that's the news. Now, how significant is it all?
Well, it's definitely a first step in the right direction. I mean, the fact that they're coming back in the middle of recess sends a good message. And the law itself is substantive, bringing important tools to the government to put pressure on people that support terror inciting groups, imams that preach hate in mosques. So the proof, of course, of the pudding is in the eating and in the regulation and in the enforcement. So that's where we're going to see if this measure really has teeth and if it's really enforced. But there's a ways to go. There's an excellent report, a plan by the Special Envoy on Anti-Semitism in Australia, of which this touches on a small part. There's also plans for a discussion about anti-Semitism in the university context. So that's another thing that needs to be tackled. So this is a good start, but there's a ways to go.
So speaking of steps in the right direction, so to speak, the Committee of Inquiry into what happened before, during, and after Bondi has been formed, and you were talking about teeth. And here, I suspect we first need to ask whether the main questions this committee should be dealing with.
Yes, I mean, the important thing is to look at it holistically. Obviously, the event itself needs to be looked at, the security, or the lack of security at the event, all the way to what the hateful atmosphere that was allowed to grow post October 7th over 2 years that ended up climaxing in this event. And I just want to say generally, where government takes a foot forward, the haters take a step back. And you can see the opposite trend happening in New York City now, where under Mamdani, government is taking a step back, and people at a synagogue are facing protesters that say, "We call Hamas, we support Hamas here," and all the mayor can say is, that's the wrong language. I don't think if KKK supporters said we support the KKK outside of a black church, that would be his reaction. So it's important that government really step forward. And the more it steps forward, the more tools, real tools it gives for prosecuting haters, the more the haters will stay back. So let's hope that's the trend.
So just, to bring it back home, as we say it, Mr. Dalal, briefly, anti-Semitic incidents in Australia post-Bondi surged by 600%. And again, this is after the Bondi massacre. So circling back to what you've said about taking a step forward and hence a step back, how do you explain that?
Well, what happens is that sort of a mass attack like this, is a great day for the haters. It's like what happened on October 8th, following October 7th. That's when the hate started pouring out in the streets of Europe, in places in the United States and in Australia. So when you have a mass incident like this, that's a boon for the haters. That's where government needs to step in, and the leaders need to be very, very firm in their pushback, both in what they say and in what they do.
Mr. Jacob Dalal, thank you so very much for joining us. Hopefully, your field of business will be less and less needed.
Hopefully, indeed.
Not in the near future, unfortunately. Thank you very much for this.